So if you follow me on Instagram, you know I like to do these recommendation of the weeks. And what that is, if there's a big movie coming out with an actor or director, and if there's a particular film in their filmography I'd like to recommend to you, and I've decided why not bring that over to my YouTube channel. Since Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness comes out this Friday, I am very excited for it, and the star of that movie is Benedict Cumberbatch. And today's film has Doctor Strange and Elizabeth Swann from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies in a movie together. Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner, and welcome to my review of The Imitation Game. The Imitation Game is a 2014 historical drama directed by Morten Tyldum starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley. This is based on a true story on Alan Turing, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and during World War II, how he and a team of code breakers try to win the war by breaking the Enigma code. I remember seeing The Imitation Game in theaters back in 2015 after hearing great reviews and loving Benedict Cumberbatch. I thought it was a great movie when I first saw it, and rewatching it recently, I still think it's a great and very well-made movie. Let's start with the pros. First, Benedict Cumberbatch is outstanding in this movie, and he played Alan Turing perfectly. Alan Turing is a highly intelligent and accomplished man, but he can also be arrogant and kind of self-centered. But as the film progresses, Alan Turing does have a lot of depth to him, and you do start to like him as the film goes on. And there is one heartbreaking scene towards the end of the movie where Alan Turing just says he doesn't want to be alone. That scene is just so powerful and phenomenal acting from Benedict Cumberbatch. And in my opinion, I think that is the best acted scene I've ever seen from Benedict Cumberbatch. And this was his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor. It was very well deserved. And in that Best Actor category, he was competing against Michael Keaton in Birdman and Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything, who won. And looking back to that Best Actor category, there was someone who should have been there who I thought was a lock for a nomination but got snubbed big time, Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler. While I do think Keaton did a fantastic job in Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne was phenomenal as Stephen Hawking in Theory of Everything, Cumberbatch was personally my pick to win in that Best Actor category that year. And this was my favorite Cumberbatch performance until recently, The Power of the Dog Top did, which I think is an excellent movie and I highly recommend it. And looking back to The Imitation Game and The Power of the Dog, I do hope Cumberbatch wins an Oscar someday. He's a phenomenal actor. And Keira Knightley also gives a terrific supporting performance. She plays a woman who Alan Turing recruits in this movie and starts a romance with her. And this is probably the best I've seen from Keira Knightley. And she has two great acted scenes in this movie. One is a scene when Alan Turing makes a confession to her. And two is that same scene I mentioned earlier towards the end of the movie. Both excellent acted scenes from Keira Knightley. And she was nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, but she lost to Patricia Arquette in Boyhood. As much as I do think Boyhood is kinda overrated, I do think Patricia Arquette deserved her Oscar that year. And this film is directed by Morten Tyldum, and he did a great job directing this movie. This was a well-told and interesting story. This movie has top-notch filmmaking when it comes to the production design and costume design, capturing the time period so good. And Alexander Desplat's musical score in this movie is fantastic. But what also makes The Imitation Game great is the screenplay. It is excellent. It has dialogue that gets you invested throughout, and it's very engaging, and also does have great urgency to it. And even though you feel like you know what's going to happen, you still want to see where the story goes. And while I love the code-breaking part of this movie, it was all very interesting. But it wasn't just that. This was a powerful story about homosexuality during World War II. And there are a lot of layers to Alan Turing. And in his childhood, when he was at boarding school, he had a close friend. And he was close friends with him until a tragedy. And if it was either found out that you were gay, you would be either arrested or even chemical castration. Like, that's horrific. Like, I can't believe that stuff happened back then. That's scary. And this film won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, and Whiplash was in that same category. It was based off a short film. And Whiplash was also a very powerful movie and has some quotable lines in it. I can agree with this film winning Adapted Screenplay. I think it's a fantastic script. As for issues or nitpicks, I'd say my only issue with The Imitation Game is some of the pacing. It is a little long here and there. There are also certain flash-forward sequences that do drag the pacing just a bit. In conclusion, The Imitation Game is a great historical drama with top-notch filmmaking, an excellent screenplay, and two fantastic performances from Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley. This was one of the Best Picture nominees at the 2015 Oscars, and my two favorite films in that lineup, as well as my top two favorite films of 2014. I would be jumping with joy had Whiplash won Best Picture, but I am okay with Birdman winning Best Picture. And this would be on par with The Grand Budapest Hotel as some of my favorites in the Best Picture lineup. And I think The Theory of Everything and American Sniper are also really good movies. And this film is in my top 15 favorite films of 2014. What a fantastic year for movies that was. And now to grade it, I'm going to give The Imitation Game 4.5 stars out of 5, an A. If you have never seen The Imitation Game, or if you're planning on watching it for the first time, definitely check it out. I think it's a really great film. So I would like to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on The Imitation Game? Do you agree? Disagree with my review? Let me know below. Or, if you haven't seen the film yet, are you planning on watching it? Let me know below. Did you enjoy my review of this movie? If you did, please hit that like button and that subscribe button, along with that notification bell for my next upload. It really means a lot. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.